the worst spelling and grammar in his school. He was dyslexic. Then he became the nation's first president, George Washington. He wrote his notes backwards with many misspellings. Then he became one of the most influential artists of all time, Leonardo da Vinci. He was thrown out of school at the age of 12 because he was thought to be slow. Then he invented the light bulb, Thomas Edison. She was told she wasn't the type to keep up in accelerated classes. She is dyslexic. She is becoming a great reader, writer, athlete, and musician. What would our world be like without these great dyslexic minds? What medicines, inventions, theories, and leaders are we losing because we aren't giving these great minds the education they need and deserve? Children like that are being treated as slow and dumb in our school system. To help dyslexic students succeed and improve the overall standardized testing scores, the district should test for dyslexia in 3rd grade. 2 girls were born with the same learning disability, with very different stories. They performed at grade level until the 4th grade. Then they began getting C's and D's in science and social studies. One girl's mom thought something was wrong and got her tested. The other girl's mom labeled her as slow and stupid. It turned out that they were both dyslexic. The tested girl was given tutoring and her grades improved. The other girl's grades did not. She continued to struggle and was stuck reading at a 3rd grade level. Her self-esteem also dwindled. She then became a high school dropout and struggled to find jobs for the rest of her life. Thank goodness I was the girl who was tested and saved. Sadly, I am still damaged from that year of struggling. I have grown a low self-esteem and have only recently broken out and let the world know the real me. Districts should test for dyslexia in 3rd grade. This is because, like me, it is not always visible in earlier grades using the standardized testing that the school provides. Teachers sometimes think that dyslexic students are inferior, slow, and lazy. Compared to other students, dyslexics are better orally and conceptually, but can be slow to answer or pretend to be dumb. Dyslexics feel angry, isolated, and frustrated. But once they are aware of and accept their disability, they can recognize their unique abilities and finally recognize their value. Testing early will help our students' future, the success of the school, and it will give the students the resources they need to avoid what I almost went through. Early identification of dyslexia is crucial. Signs of dyslexia will show up by the 3rd grade. We should test all students in 3rd grade whether they are failing or not. Dyslexia is not always visible through a student's grades, but can still be seen if a student is dyslexic from the results of testing. The district should provide the district should provide services to save those George Washington from the torture that they might have had to live through. The time we live in is far different than the past. 2 of the biggest changes for dyslexics are the support and the importance of school. Dyslexics are less believed in than they were in the past. One of the reasons all those great dyslexic minds succeeded was because they each had a person who believed in them. Also, the importance of school has changed. Today, to go anywhere in life, you need an education. Back then, if you didn't go to school, it didn't really matter. You could still do great things. For those current students who are dyslexic, we will provide testing, and after testing and then provide the help they need for the future. Schools often say that a student will grow out of it. Sometimes even support is cut off when a dyslexic student is performing at grade level. The problem is, once a student is dyslexic, they are always dyslexic. Even with testing, parents and teachers can help. They can look for these signs of dyslexia: trouble concentrating, reading, writing, and taking notes. Also, they can look for writing letters the wrong way and not recognizing words that they did earlier on the page. These are all signs of dyslexia. Teachers should also allow tape recorders. Some dyslexics need to hear things multiple times to fully understand. Students and parents should not call a child slow and mentally ill. This will crush what little self-esteem they have. Also, teachers should encourage the use of computers with all students. Dyslexia testing includes oral language, IQ, and achievement in reading and writing. To do the testing, we should have at least one person in each school certified. They will need to go through some training, but in the long run, the grades and successes of the school will be worth it. There are some issues with bringing in this testing. There is the issue of money and the issue of adding more testing to the schools. The dyslexia testing could replace the standardized testing for the 3rd grade year. This would solve both problems. Actually, the standardized testing is really not for the benefit of the students, but to evaluate the teachers in the school. Because it is not for the benefit of the students, young students often don't take it seriously. Wouldn't it be amazing to help the future of our country by supporting our students? The end product would be worth all the time, effort, and money. These tests should be done so that students can get the help they need and deserve. With the steps I mentioned, the success of all schools will increase. All schools need to have dyslexia testing done in 3rd grade for all students, failing or not. These students need your help. Start implementing the steps to a better education now. You can help by writing letters to the district all the way up to the president. I mentioned some famous dyslexics earlier, but I didn't mention them all. You can see other dyslexics under an article called 70 Famous Dyslexics at popcrunch.com. Also, you can learn more about dyslexia by reading some of these books. Let's stop losing the future George Washingtons of the world and get this started as soon as possible.